Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Kilmeny Duchardt is now joining us from Capitol Hill. I think the voting is done, Kilmeny. What can you tell us?
The voting is still ongoing right now, Chris. These roll call votes are certainly time consuming, but at this point, again, all roads are still leading to the fact that Speaker McCarthy will be vacated at the end of this very long vote series. There have been enough Republicans, as you and I have spoken about, that have already indicated that they do not support keeping Speaker McCarthy in power. And what we had heard in the lead up to the debate over this, the hour of debate where proponents of McCarthy and critics of McCarthy had a moment to make their case, was we heard from Republican Congressman Tom McClintock saying that at the end of this, the House will be paralyzed. Democrats will revel in Republican dysfunction. Americans will be repulsed. And he warned members that they would only have minutes to come to their senses here. And again, it's a big open question of how the Republican conference proceeds after this, because the House will inevitably be called into recess. There will need to be a Speaker pro tempore elected, and there can be no official business done at this point until another Speaker is elected. I think the question becomes, do they initiate this process tonight? Are there negotiations behind closed doors? Is it House Speaker Kevin McCarthy who emerges again as the nominee, or is it someone else? We talked about the fact that there hasn't been a real consensus candidate that has emerged from this.
Yeah, Kilmeny, breaking news right now. It is official. Speaker Kevin McCarthy has been ousted from the speakership of the House of Representatives. So now the pivot. Now, where do we go from here? That is the big question. Folks, it's on your screen right now as you're watching the House of Representatives. Kevin McCarthy is no longer the Speaker of the House. So, Kilmeny, let me bring you back in. And so now that this vote has taken, hold on a minute. I'm being told we should listen to the official proceedings on the floor. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Prior to proceeding to the election of a Speaker, it would be prudent to first recess for the relative caucus and conferences to meet and discuss the path forward. Accordingly, pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the Chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the Chair.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you... That banging of the gavel, folks, that was a statement. That was a statement from a lot of frustration there. The Republican caucus, the vote is over. Speaker Kevin McCarthy is no longer the Speaker of the House of Representatives, no longer the third most powerful individual in our country, elected individual in our country. Let's go back to Kilmeny Duchardt. So, Kilmeny, they're all going to go to their separate corners and start strategizing what's next.
Yeah, that's right. And what you also heard when you heard that gavel, Chris, was history being made, because this is, again, the first time in history that we have seen this happen. Speaker McCarthy being the first leader to be vacated here from this motion. I don't believe that Speaker McCarthy thought that this would be the outcome today when he was speaking to reporters on Capitol Hill this morning, saying that he anticipated that he would be the Speaker at the end of the evening. We know that Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz has said he was willing to initiate this process as many times as possible until Kevin McCarthy was no longer House Speaker. But as you mentioned, in terms of what happens next, yes, Republicans will go into conference. They'll go behind closed doors. The House is officially closed for business. It cannot do anything until it elects a Speaker. These are going to be tough conversations, tough negotiations, because if you factor into what it took for Speaker McCarthy to become elected, a lot of people arguing the number of concessions that he made just to become elected Speaker. You can imagine what sort of concessions he may be asked this time around if, again, he is put forward as the candidate, or if, as you mentioned, there is an alternate that some in the conference have in mind. But again, this is barreling toward another deadline to pass these fiscal appropriations bills for 2024. And there's a lot of legislative business to do, and this is something that is certainly going to hamper business in the House.
Well, Kilmeny, about those concessions you mentioned, and I think this is what has the ire of a lot of those conservatives. Those concessions were made, they were agreed to, they were promised, and they weren't delivered. And this is pretty much typical of how the Republican Party has treated conservatives. Oh, yeah, we'll pay you a lot of lip service. Yeah, sure, we'll tell you what you want to hear. But don't expect you're going to get any of that we're going to honor any of these things. And I think that's what's led us to here, because certain conservatives wanted to take the speaker at his word. Is there any oh, hold on a second. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Kilman. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just getting some discussions from the control booth. Look, I just want to know, is there a factor in here that Mr. McCarthy did not fulfill the obligations he made to conservatives as a condition of getting the speaker's gavel? There is a component to that, yes?
Yeah. There is certainly criticisms that we have heard from Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz about that process. They wanted these bills to go through the regular order. They didn't want to pass a continuing resolution. But as Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene pointed out many times, that this is the way that the system has been set up. You have the long August recess, and then you have a month, essentially less than that. Republicans actually had 11 legislative days that they had to work on this before they had to pass, again, a budget for the next year, before the government was set to run out of money. So she has cited the fact that, hey, this is how the system is set up. It's set up this way. And the answer is not vacating Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker. It's not expelling Congressman Matt Gaetz. It's about working together and trying to find consensus within the party. But that was one of the criticisms, was Matt Gaetz was saying that House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was going and making these backdoor deals with President Biden, whether it was with the debt ceiling or whether it was with working with Democrats to come up with a continuing resolution, or the lack of trust that has eroded over time with some of these bills not going through the regular order. Those are fair criticisms, but right now, this is a very weak position that House Republicans will be currently operating from as they attempt to elect another speaker.
Kilmeny, Duchardt, thank you very much. Johnny on the spot today. Appreciate the updates from Capitol Hill as we watched history today, ladies and gentlemen.